1, 2, 3.
Ooh,
Hell yeah. That was tight. That was tight.
That should be part of our intro.
It definitely is. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Section 109 podcast from Studio Breezy, joined by Jay and Matthew, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Bobble Juan. Jay, you're back in the studio, baby. Boys, we're back in the studio. It's been a hot minute. How we doing?
Man, I don't even remember the last time CFC even played. I don't even remember the last... Well, I do remember the last time I was here, but it's been a while.
In the Chattahooligan Slack this morning, I posted a Dave Chappelle crackhead meme where I was like, I need a CFC game. I do. I feel like we haven't played in forever, and we will get into why in a moment. But Jay, first of all,
what's up?
How did you pick the intro song for this? For the pod?
People have commented on it before.
It's such a banger.
I just have Epidemic Sound to make to have like legal music that I can use. What's that called? Copyright free or whatever. Mm-hmm. So basically, I have a subscription to a bank of songs and sounds, and I just spent like 3 days just looking, and then I finally found that one, and I just like played with it upstairs at my house, and would do a fake intro with it.
And it's just a fucking banger, and I love it. But we get a copyright claim, but not a copyright strike every single time. They claim it to say like, hey, there is copyright, but you're still free to use it.
I think
on almost every episode on YouTube,
that would not allow us to monetize.
Yeah, I think that might be the
change
case.
That. Great, good to know. Behind the curtain.
And I need to show you the YouTube at some point because you know a lot more about YouTube than me. But it's just interesting. Like, it doesn't bother me. First of all, we don't have enough listeners or watchers, I don't think, to monetize this bad boy. Second of all, I don't even want to monetize it. But it is, maybe someday that'll be a thing. But it was interesting because we don't get it every episode.
Right.
But we do get it randomly because it scans the episode and we get a claim here and there. But again, it says like, it doesn't say like you can't use this. It just says like, I don't know.
The thing is I'm going to go type Section 109 podcast into my subscription plan, and that will change.
That will change. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I basically have to list out whatever you used. Continue.
Oh, that makes
is
sense.
Boring for most people.
Yeah. Well, you know. Matthew, the Club de Leon match. Let's go even back before that. The last time we talked about two things. The upcoming Savannah match, which we were very excited about, and then we have podcasted since then. But our last podcast in person, you and I, since I came home with the Rona, we talked about the Savannah match that was coming up, and then we thought it was a 10% chance of that Club de Leon match happening.
Nailed it.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mean, it was a 0% chance.
I was going to say, I thought that was high.
Actually, it's not a 0% chance because it's technically been postponed. Let's first. Had Savannah been postponed when we podcasted last?
I don't remember when we podcasted last.
We podcasted when you were in, I believe, out of town, and I was here locked up for COVID.
I feel like I was virtually in my house.
Were you in your house? Okay. So either way, Savannah got postponed.
The 15th, which was the day before the Savannah match, so it was already postponed by then.
Okay. So how are we feeling about the postponement date, boys? They finally announced it yesterday, right?
Yeah, Saturday, October 21st. They're using the makeup weekend.
One of the only, I mean, like, look, it's annoying that Nisa had to add another week, and they shouldn't have had to add another week, but because Nisa can't get their shit together, but also adding another week to the season, is going to work out a little bit.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is both of Savannah's makeup dates, the Saturday that we play them and the Wednesday before that Saturday that they're playing Maryland Bobcats, both of those are not taking place at their normal stadium, Memorial.
It's a bummer.
It's taking place at, I don't know, some high school in New Richmond, Georgia, something like that.
I think
Richmond Hill.
I think we will see a
know.
lot of that because, to be fair, like my understanding is the league said, like, hey, everybody, by the way, we are unilaterally deciding to extend this week.
Yeah, call your stadium.
And if you don't have availability, find somewhere else. Which is, it's shitty, but also, like, everyone I think is in the same boat. I don't know that we would have availability that week at Finley. I think maybe there's a UTC game maybe that way.
I believe the 21st has a UTC game, but not like the 22nd, the Sunday
Right.
the 22nd. But I think everyone just had to scramble a little bit, and it sounds like Savannah had.
It doesn't seem very Nisa thing to scramble, does it, Jay?
It sounds like Savannah has some high school football commitments that they already made, which is no surprise. You know, there was a high school football game at Finley, last weekend or something like that. Or this past weekend. Mm-hmm. Like it's not terribly uncommon. So they've had to adjust, and there'll be a different venue for us to go down to. a couple weeks in a row. And that's just how it goes.
So our remaining schedule, and we'll get to Club de Leon, and I want you to take us through a little history of kind of how things unfolded, because it was a wild ride, Jay. I don't know if you've heard Matthew's history of the Club de Leon match. But before we get there, our remaining schedule currently as it sits is 10-1 against Gold Star. That's this Sunday. Away 10-7, which is a Saturday at Savannah, should be a blast. Away 10-14 at Flower City. Away 10-21 at Savannah. And then home, big question mark against Club de Leon, because spoiler alert for how the Club de Leon saga has come out, we are going to host them instead of them hosting us.
This is for people who don't have Twitter.
Yeah, or who just might not want to be that tuned into the bullshit.
God bless them for it.
So Matthew, take us through. Give me give Jay and I like the 5-minute recap. Let's not go too long on it, on how this unfolded and what we know happened from both leaks and from some phone calls that you made, maybe to some venues.
So I think you have to go all the way back to right around when Hurricane Idalia was moving through the kind of Gulf of Mexico, coming up through Florida. The Michigan Stars at Club de Leon match that was scheduled for, I believe it was like Labor Day weekend around then, because we would have been in about to go to California. That match was postponed. And they said it was for venue availability and precaution against the Hurricane Idalia, which was not remotely forecast to go anywhere near Daytona Beach. That was a series of red flags. The following week, they were set to host Flower City Union in a absolutely massive 6-pointer. Flower City was
last playoff spot for both teams.
Flower City was 2 points below them in the table, and we were in California at this point in time when this happens, and that match was announced as a forfeit, straight up as a forfeit, and the reasons given was venue availability. Come to find out through the great work of Rick Lewis in Rochester, who writes for the blog Valiant 33.
Shout out.
He did some digging. There were some phone calls made, and he reported essentially that Club de Leon was kicked out of Daytona Stadium for failure to pay its bills.
That's Sonisa.
The match, both the Michigan Stars match and the Flower City match, if you go back to when they actually last played a league match at Daytona Stadium, it was mid-June.
Damn,
the way the schedule worked out with sound good. With like some traveling, with some just like the big kind of Independent Cup break, and I guess they actually played the Independent Cup match at some point in July.
Yeah,
and I think it was at Daytona, or maybe I don't actually know. But again, like a big gap between Independent Cup and some of these the Michigan and Flower City matches. They'd reported had been kicked out of their stadium for failure to pay bills. You couple that with the rumors that were flying that they were not paying players. We saw several players move on. Just no longer appearing for Club de Leon.
We faced one at Albion.
Correct. Yeah, Yuki Shibata, who was at Stumptown with Rod,
tore us up on that right wing. He was a man possessed.
He had played for Rod previously at Stumptown. Was on Club de Leon. Had moved to Albion. We had heard that it was open season on Club de Leon players. They were considering Club de Leon to be out of compliance with those contracts, and anyone was available to move and leave and do whatever. And that was more or less confirmed while we were in California. And so you have all that going on. You don't have a venue. We were incredibly skeptical in California at that time. When a club forfeits, that's the end, basically.
It almost always is the end.
Yeah.
And we were incredibly skeptical that there was even a venue available, that they would figure whatever. Come to find out, it's probably midweek ahead of our Savannah match that ended up getting postponed for COVID. And all of a sudden, something new appears on the NISA website. The match is going to be played at Seminole Soccer Complex in Sanford, Florida. If you've ever heard of Sanford, it's kind of between Orlando and Daytona. It's home of Orlando Sanford Airport, where Allegiant flies from Chattanooga. It's also home of the Amtrak Auto Train, which leaves from Northern Virginia, just outside of D.C., and arrives in Sanford. You can throw your car on the train instead of driving.
I was just going to ask what's an auto train, but you explained it. I was like, that's a weird name
Yeah,
for
it's
okay.
it's an interesting offering from Amtrak. That's very much beside the point.
I'm about to do that just to do it.
Dude, it sounds like fun. Let's drive your truck and let's just go park it on the train and take it.
Some GTA shit.
It really is.
So anyway, you've got you got this complex. Okay, cool. They've got a new complex, right? That's great. Except this is Club de Leon we're talking about, and none of us on. I mean, I'll speak for me and Breezy here. Neither of us thought that this was going to happen, because of all the reasons mentioned. If they're kicked out of their stadium for not paying rent, it's incredibly hard. Do they have any money? Number one, do they care enough to find another venue? Will they actually pay that bill? Will they even? Do they have to pay in full in front? Or is the league going to step in and pay a bill? Are they going to ask us to pay a bill?
Which, when we talked about predictions, my prediction was if they played, and this is still, by the way, my prediction remains exactly the same. You and I don't believe the game's going to happen, spoiler alert, but if it does, the 10% chance that it does happen, it will be because the league stepped up and ponied up and paid for something to happen. And they've kind of done it by scheduling it as a home game for us, where the league could probably potentially just pay for their travel, and then
Get them a bus,
we know that
room.
we will pay. We know we're going to pay our stadium bill and play at our stadium.
We know this is kind of going back to last year with Syracuse, but we definitely had some insight into what was happening in Syracuse.
RIP.
And like the league, when the league was like helping,
big RIP.
like number one, trying to convince them to do things on the cheap and like not take care of their players. They were very much saying, "Oh, like you have a 12-hour drive or whatever from Syracuse to Detroit, Michigan. Like, just take some 15-passenger vans. Like, go the day before, stay in a shitty hotel. Like, leave after the game. Like, it'll be fine. Like, you'll figure it out. Whatever." And of course, that's not that's not a safe environment for any visiting player whatsoever. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening for Club de Leon. It's 8 hours. In a car, like just get some cars, get a van or whatever, like come up to Chattanooga, play the game, go back home, whatever. Honestly, kind of like how AC Houston Sir did it when they came for the Independent Cup.
It's just extremely amateur.
Right. Yeah. It's funny because when you were saying that, I was like, we all know what the NPSL is and how they do things. It's literally what went through my head.
This is
the NPSL with a little bit more money,
with sanctioning
and a little bit
with
more
sanctioning,
crime.
and potentially a lot more crimes.
So okay, so let's take it back to
allegedly. Don't sue us.
Allegedly.
So
Yep.
we get
we've never we've never had a cease and desist letter. We're going to get one at some point for talking shit about NISA.
No, we're not. We're not
So
enough people.
on-
It won't be real. It'll be on it'll be probably fake. But
well, considering they can't put together $100 for a stadium rental, I'm not sure they could pay a lawyer to send a letter.
I mean, Legal Shield, free Legal Shield.
Now so on Wednesday we kind of get word, hey, folks that are trying to go to this game in Orlando area, maybe don't.
We're the only team in NISA that has to say anything like that. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
But like
Bummer.
just a heads up, like, hey, like it's not official, but like, this thing really might get postponed or canceled or just not happen. Like, be prepared for that. We had already canceled our travel a week before that. Like we were kind of planning for this. Put the word out to some other people. There are some people that went down anyway because they scheduled some family stuff,
Or because they're awesome, they wanted to have a vacation.
Yeah, I mean, like, and so like that's.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I think George Whitman went down no matter what.
Yeah, I
he
think
was down
Tom
there.
Gonzalez was down there. Went to the Rowdies game instead.
Hell yeah, good for you, Tom.
Vic
I know
was down
Vic was
there
down
with
there.
the family.
Yep.
So, and then on Thursday at
Man,
5
we would have had such a good crew down
know.
there
On
because
Thur-
there's all the other people that canceled. Fuck.
on Thursday at 5:00, the club released a statement and just said, basically, yeah, there's no venue. There's like we're just not going. Like
It was a little chippy.
This
It was a
can't
little chippy.
This can't be met. Or the requirements to host a match are just not being met. Like, we're just not going.
We were 100% in the right, but there was a little it was a little chippy. That message read a little bit like, what the fuck are we even doing here?
And so,
Like, why are we in this position?
The next morning, Nisa releases a statement. This will be Friday morning.
Nice of them to release a statement the next day.
Yeah, and they said the match is being postponed. Or the CFC statement also said, like, we look forward to getting another home game for our supporters.
Which, by the way, hell yeah, I'll take it.
The next day, Nisa releases a statement, says that there was venue issues going on, and mentioned something about the backup site not being, or essentially that CFC had declined to play at the backup site, and that they decided to move the match to Chattanooga at a later date. A couple hours later, Nisa edited this statement to remove any mention of the backup site.
I wonder why.
Probably because it was like the median of I-4. Just a little bit of grass.
A couple pieces of gravel.
You've got the interstate as the boundaries, like for the white lines, like good enough.
Probably because they realized that taking a shot at us for not wanting to play, I mean, it appears in what were unsafe conditions, or potentially, I mean, the worst case, if you read more between the lines, is maybe there wasn't a venue.
So, I mean,
maybe did this backup venue really exist?
I don't know.
I mean, you're making jokes about it being middle of I-4. Like, it's a fucking problem.
Now, we do know, let's just go back for context. Let's just go back 2 years ago. Because there was a NISA match scheduled at a college that then somehow fell through all of a sudden. And the day before the game, the venue was relocated about an hour and a half away, as I recall.
Was this in California?
This was in California.
Breezy was there.
This was the LA Force match in 2021.
I streamed that game.
Yeah, you did.
Because, so the match was relocated
awesome.
the day before the game.
Well, I was pretty
an hour
salty.
and a half away from the original location. There was not going to be a stream whatsoever.
There was not an ambulance present.
There was not an ambulance. There was not an EMT support. There was not a defibrillator. It was in a literal public park next to other children playing.
There was not a lot.
There were no locker rooms. There were no stands. There was absolutely no nothing. I imagine that the backup site for Club de Leon, whatever Nisa had able to secure, I'm going to guess it was a public park that they didn't have to pay for.
Yeah.
That they could just roll up, like drop some lines down and, tell the referees, hey, just go here, change in your car or whatever. And I'm going to guess they tried to get away with doing that again. And unlike in 2021, that's an easy thing for us to say, absolutely not. We're not doing this again.
Yep.
We were very, very clear
for something we did not do.
We were very clear on this podcast, and I imagine we were very clear at the time in more formal settings that this is not acceptable. This is not professional. This is not compliant with U.S. soccer, with FIFA standards, and we're just not doing it. Like, we're not doing it again. Like, that's an automatic forfeit.
Yeah.
Now, Nisa and as essentially, I'm guessing, has basically just given us, like, hey, you're taking a home date for this. Like, sorry, you don't have a choice. Because by all accounts, that is supposed to be a forfeit.
Absolutely should be a forfeit.
The club is out money.
If you can't provide a home venue, you don't travel to your opponent's venue. That's not how this fucking works. And also, the competitive integrity of the entire season is like fucked because we get an extra home. Now, Albion, it doesn't matter in Nisa because Albion already has 2 extra home games and they've already had forfeits for dumb shit. So, like, it doesn't matter. But in real leagues that are professionally run,
this is a forfeit every time.
It's a forfeit. If you can't provide a home venue that's suitable,
by the way,
I'll
note
you're done.
There is absolutely nothing different with the circumstances that led to the Club de Leon forfeit versus Flower City than to our situation a couple weeks later.
Matthew, there was a hurricane.
No, that was the Michigan Stars game.
Oh.
That was postponed. Like, the Flower City game was literally forfeited. It put Flower City above Club de Leon in the standings.
Sorry, I get my forfeits confused.
There's only been 2 this year. There's still time. Like, there's no difference between what happened for Flower City Union gaining that forfeit and then what happened in our circumstance.
Yeah.
So
disgusting.
But, like, this is Nisa. It's going to get weird. We're getting a home game out of it. We will
Allegedly.
see
if we get a home game out of it.
We will see if. I think it just kicks the can down the road on what happens to Club de Leon.
So here's a thing that you and I have talked about. If we get to the end of the season, as an example, and they maybe, I don't know when they'll schedule the game, right? But let's pretend they schedule it for the end of the season because it fits in a window that doesn't fit in the window now.
Yeah.
And there's a potential that Club de Leon is completely out of the playoff picture. We have potentially clinched whatever position we're going to be in the table, hopefully first. And it's a dead rubber game that doesn't help anybody.
There's not a chance that game gets played.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not a chance that game gets played.
Now, it's also possible they don't schedule it for that late, right? They could schedule it somewhere earlier and it could happen before stuff. But if there's nothing on the line, do we think that game gets played?
No.
There'd be no point. I mean, the only reason any of us would look at it in a positive light is if we do get that
Another
extra
home game.
home game to go to. But yeah, in any other real reason from a league perspective, it doesn't.
This is
should
a
not
team-
be.
It would be a forfeit that should have been a forfit to begin with.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is a team
a dragged out forfeit.
that
An extended
has
forfeit.
has not
Extended
played
forfeit.
a match since August 19th.
They're scheduled to play this weekend, right?
They are scheduled to play this weekend, and
It's going to be really interesting to see if they play.
I believe they're scheduled to play LA Force this weekend.
At home?
I want to make sure. I thought it was supposed to be at
Because if they don't
Clipperley.
have a
don't know.
venue, they ain't making it to California. Unless the league picks that up, right? I mean,
Right, that's the question. Like
Yeah.
the league has, look, there's a lot of problems with these, so this isn't me giving them credit, but
They're
like
supposed
they
to go
have
to-
paid bills of teams in the past,
So this is
so it's not completely out of the realm. They might start, they paid Syracuse's bills last. They're probably paying Gold Star's bills right now. They paid for Stumptown's bills. Like they have paid for other people's bills. Yeah. It's possible they do it. I'm not suggesting they will because I think that Club de Leon's dead, but
they are scheduled to play. They've got 4 games on the calendar. They've got to make up a game against us and 2 games against Michigan Stars.
how much do I bet they'll play both of those in Michigan? A Friday, Sunday?
dude, yeah, seriously.
So that'll be actually.
The most neat-
or a Sunday, Tuesday.
The most NISA things of all
Yeah.
time.
So here's
Wait,
the thing.
isn't somebody playing a 9 a.m. game today?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I saw 9 a.m.
Flower City's playing at Gold Star at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Unbelievable.
So, okay, so this is the remaining schedule listed for Club de Leon. They've got October 1st at LA Force. They've got October 4th at Gold Star. They've got October 7 at Michigan. And they've got October 15 home against Savannah. They have to now add in a game at Chattanooga. And they need
2 games against Michigan Stars.
And they need to have 2 home games against Michigan Stars.
Yep.
Not happening.
Don't think it is happening.
By the way,
you remember how you said there's still time for more forfeits?
Listen, this is actually really important though because there's kind of a 3-way battle going on between Michigan,
Yep.
LA, and
Albion?
for
second place?
second place.
And Michigan might
And
get 6 free points.
So Michigan's got 3 games that
In
they still
hand.
have to play against, like 3 in hand, and also 3 that they've got to play against Club de Leon. 2 reschedules and an already scheduled match. That has profound implications. And by the way, like,
Holy crap.
not for nothing, like they're not, they win all those games in hand. It's not like they're, still so far back away from us. Like if we slip up, drop some points in some of these next couple games, like they get 9 free points out of Club de Leon. They're right back in the thick of it, man.
So now I'm rooting for Club de Leon to play. Let's move forward from this. Jay, did you see the video that they put out of the new CFC office?
I did, yeah, and I have something funny to say about that.
And as someone who worked in the previous office, I'm sure you have some maybe
the previous
office. Yeah. So you may have some more insight here. Go talk to us about it.
Well, no, just one of my favorite things ever was I love trolling. I don't always do it, but I love watching it happen. And the club trolled the shit out of the Knights Who Say Nisa because they put the "We're moving up" a gif that said "We're moving up," and the Knights Who Say Nisa reposted or retweeted it or re-xed it and said
Whatever it is.
yeah, and said it's happening. Oh, calm down. You know that Michael Scott or whatever. Calm down. It's happening. Everybody, calm down. And then it was the new office, and I just commented on it. It was like a troll in like a Jeep that was like driving by, but it was so well done, and seeing the club do things like that on social media is only going to make more people love them whenever things again blow up again and more people find out about.
Absolutely.
So seeing stuff like that.
By the way, shout out Alex.
Yes,
My
big
wife is
time.
an alum, and I am drinking. I'm drinking out of the coffee cup today.
But
new CFC
office
office.
is on. It's on Market Street now, which is great. It's in the middle of downtown. I didn't mind the one right down the way. It was okay. The one right down the way from the stadium on it's Reggie White.
Yeah,
Or Chestnut?
no, it's on Chestnut.
Yeah, Chestnut. And just
Right?
Carter Street, guys.
Carter
Thank you.
Street.
You're right. You're right.
Sorry.
It becomes Reggie White Boulevard. I was like, that is where
Right,
Reggie White
right,
is.
right.
Yeah.
And Chestnut is where I used to work for a guy who's in a lot of trouble right now.
Shout out.
But yes,
Wow.
I'm
If he
a
walks
big-
in a room, it'll be a frosty reception.
I'm a big fan.
Shut up, Matthew.
I'm a big fan of seeing anybody move up. I'm a really big fan of seeing people that I love move up, and it only means good things if you're moving up. You're hiring more people, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about that right now.
So we're opening up space for more people.
So let's not. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we have a lot of food questions to get to. I've been
I missed
waiting
out on
for
all
this.
of those.
The
so-
article
Bingo.
talking about the new office this morning mentioned that 10 new full-time positions had been added to CFC
Since the beginning of the season.
Since the beginning of the year.
Let's go.
Or beginning,
And-
I don't. Maybe it isn't the season, man. It's a year. Sorry.
And we've been told that there's another 3 postings right now, 2 in corporate partnerships and 1 in communications.
I think that's including those 10. I think. Is it not? You think it's 13?
I wouldn't be shocked, man.
I think it's 10.
Well, in the verbiage,
I don't know.
in the verbiage, it would mean that if the position, when you say the positions are added, you mean 10 people have been hired, or those are 10 positions that have opened up that we're now hiring people for.
I am telling you the extent of what I know,
Okay.
and I don't think it's.
So here's how I
I,
read
I don't really care if it's
You're our
7,
insider,
10, or
Matt.
13.
Come on, Matthew.
I have a feeling that you're going to get a text a little bit later once this podcast drops, being like, "You dumb idiot! Just read the article."
Probably.
So I'm assuming, because 13 is so many people, already 10 is a lot of people. I'm assuming it's 10, including those 3. It might not be. The point is, the club is growing. CFC
Yes,
is a
that's all that
massive
matters.
club, and
We're massive.
I'm so excited that they're moving to a new office. They're growing, they're expanding. We're entering the next chapter. We're in first place. We're the most talented team in the league. Like, times are good, things are good. Let's fucking go. Jay, how's the boat?
Oh, the boat's fire, man. Well, I got a lift. This is hilarious. I'm going to talk about this. But yeah, dude, it's great. I've been going out every weekend.
Are you leaving it in the marina now that you got the lift?
Yeah. It's at the marina.
How nice is that?
It's so sick because like on any night, any weeknight, Rachel and I are like, we don't want to cook. You trying to get in the boat and go get amigos, dude? Let's do it. Or go to
Island
Steve's Landing.
Cove.
Yes. So it's awesome. Yeah, I'm having a blast.
Are you doing more fishing on the boat or more just chilling?
More drinking. No, just more chilling. I sold my trolling motor. I just do so much fishing in Florida that when I here, it's just about, I really got the boat so that my wife could be happy and in the sun. That's the majority of the reason I
Hell
got
yeah.
my boat. So
I love that.
Yeah, so take notes if you're looking to get married or you are married and you're struggling. Get a boat.
Get a boat and get out there and get on the water. Get a cheap boat.
Yeah, just that's where she's happiest is on the water. So we had to have it.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's go to some food questions.
Before we do, can I
Yes.
say one thing?
Absolutely.
I just want to, we were talking about new positions, and I just want to shout out one person who I think is doing an awesome job, and his name is Isaac. He's the guy who runs the scoreboard now. I got him that position through Owen
Humble brag.
back in the day. Well, Owen was like, we need people. And I was like, this kid's a freaking genius. It's my boss's son. And now he's actually my coworker, and he's extremely smart, extremely driven, and he cares a lot. And he's very technical, and he's doing a really good job. And I love that the club's keeping him around and sticking with him. And yeah, I just want to say that. So,
Love it. Love it. Hell yeah.
think
Shout out.
about that.
Shout out. I'm going to go straight
All
to
right,
you,
food
Jay.
questions.
Hang on. I want to intro this bit a little bit.
Okay, go.
That's basically all the soccer stuff we have.
Yeah, you should say that. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
this is a food podcast, Matthew.
we just decided that
This started as a soccer podcast, but it's become a bad food takes or great food takes. If you're talking about my food takes,
we just
podcast.
like invented a reason and like to talk about like some of the soccer shit.
We got to play a fucking game to talk about soccer.
bingo.
But this is a food podcast now, so
It is. What's
let's
a food takes podcast?
And like we've interjected some of our food takes throughout like interviews and stuff like that, but like we've never like really dove all the way in, especially not with Jay.
Yep, and we need
So
to do it.
let's-
With Smitty here at some point.
So
soon.
let's, like,
But
just-
let's dive
let's
fully
just
into
dive
food
in.
takes.
Shout out Smitty. I do want to say shout out to my boy Zach. he listens to all of our podcasts, and every time before I come on, I text him. I'm like, "Yo, you got any questions?" But his questions are so deep that we're probably not allowed to talk about them.
Is it soccer related or?
Oh yeah, it's soccer related, but we're not allowed to talk about them.
Stick it in the mailbag afterwards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we can add it for a
These are
future
after
episode.
I just put out
questions.
a call for a mailbag with some people too. So like we'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Jay,
Anyways, soccer's over. What's up?
what is your most controversial food take?
Oh shit! Oh god!
Starting hot,
you
baby.
may need to come back around because that may. I mean, we all know that I think pineapple goes on pizza. So but that one's kind of
That one's not even controversial. That's just
built-
right.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Hey Matt.
I'll give you mine. So
Yeah, give me an
and
example.
I'm gonna. So the world is gonna judge what's controversial. I don't think my take. This is a controversial take at all. Mayonnaise belongs on hot dogs.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're a fucking psychopath.
No, I am a man who enjoys the finer things in life. Now, I have been doing a little bit of trolling, which you have seen.
Yes.
Mayonnaise is
I
not
do
fine.
not normally get just mayonnaise on a hot dog. I do it. I didn't just stage those photos and not eat it. Like that hot dog was delicious. I usually put, and we'll get to some hot dog questions, but I usually put mayo, mustard, and ketchup. Thank you. That's the other condiment. I
Oh,
don't
I
usually
know
put
one.
relish.
I know one.
Did you guys see his brain? Like he started mayo and it like deteriorated a little bit. Then he said mustard, it deteriorated a little bit more, and he couldn't even get the words ketchup out.
So
the
Matthew,
thing that like most people put on a hot dog.
so we're gonna stay on hot dogs for a second. Matthew eats a dry hot dog with no condiments.
Pound it.
You do as well?
Yep.
Oh my!
Ketchup, not good. Mustard, not that good.
If I'm
mayonnaise,
hammered, I'm
literally
doing a
the
light
most
ketchup
disgusting.
and mustard mixture.
I
If I'm
thought
hammered.
I knew you two.
Yeah, you don't.
Now, I will say, I want to experiment more. I think I talked about this last time. I want to experiment a little bit more with ground mustard as like a seasoning to
Matthew-
grill it with.
Matthew took
You're stepping into Breezy's territory here.
Matthew took a hot dog and basically like brined it. I said not brined is probably the wrong word. He basically marinated a hot dog in
Salt,
in things.
pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and ground mustard.
Don't do that to your hot
You
dogs.
don't live in prison. Why are you doing that?
What I'm actually going to start doing now is if
Your hot dog
if I
takes are
know
way worse than mine.
if I know we're going on the boat next, I'm gonna like take a it's like I'm gonna like, get like 4 hot dogs in case one of you want to try them, and I'm gonna go ahead and just like pre-season them and out 24 hours before.
I'm still trying to think of my food take, but I think I might have figured it out.
All right, go.
Bacon is fire when it's dipped in Nutella. I was really high one time back in the day,
Whoa.
and I did it, and I was like, "Okay, that's amazing." And then like,
Salty,
the next
sweet.
couple days later, I was like, "Man, do you think I was just stoned?
There's
or
a-
like, was that actually good?"
There's-
and I still like it.
There's a reel going around where a dude takes bacon and sorry I can't remember his name. He's very famous. He always does the like, come here, come closer, and then he gets to your camp and then he tells you a thing. Anyway, it's really funny. But you take bacon and you put it in pancake batter and then you cook the pancake. And so it's pancakes and with bacon on the inside, which just reminded me of that.
I've never done
that
anything
sounds
like that, but
fire.
I have enjoyed in my youth taking bacon and like putting it into grits and like having a little scoop and then eating it.
I could see that. Matthew, do you consider yourself a good cook?
I think so, yeah.
What is your go-to dish to impress somebody?
So am I doing it's probably a pasta related dish. I've gotten pretty proficient with just like grabbing a like a red sauce or something, putting it in the pan, maybe mixing a little bit of cream or a little bit of white sauce with it to zhuzh it up a little bit. And then just drop in all kinds of spices and maybe some broccoli, maybe some chicken sausage, or if I want to go regular chicken or pork or something, whatever. And then just doing noodles on the side, combining it all at the end. I've gotten pretty proficient at making a nice sauce out of nowhere, which I feel like is like a family birthright for me.
It's embracing the heritage. I love it. Jay, do you think you're a cook?
I'm okay. I would say yes if I didn't have a chef or a wife. She's not actually a chef, but she can freaking cook, dude.
For those that don't know, she's literally written a cookbook. So like,
She's still writing it. Yeah,
like
we're gonna do videos and stuff. It was vegan, but she has since converted back to not being.
oh no, she's a sinner.
She eats primarily a vegetable based diet, but she's been eating other stuff, and so she's been cooking with like more meat and stuff, but which is great. But yeah.
And I know that she's a great cook because we have podcasted many times in kind of the first chapter of this podcast at your place when you had the only studio we had access to. And it was like we'd be upstairs podcasting, having a great time, and then you would just start, your stomach would start grumbling, and then suddenly you get
out of nowhere.
what is that? What does that smell? And it was just heaven every time. And I think she was just showing off, to be fair, every time we were there.
Yeah.
But just unbelievable. But like, put your wife out of it because like just because she's a professional doesn't mean you can't be
decent.
good.
I'm decent. My mom's an awesome cook, and I used to spend a lot of time with her in the kitchen. I am great on the grill, but I don't count that as cooking.
I think you should.
Oh well, then I'm a fire cook.
I want a grill because that's the one thing I don't have in my arsenal nor in my house because
I was gonna say you got
building
the patio.
Yeah.
What is your go-to dish to impress somebody, Jay? It could be grill related, could not be. I'm going to include grilling in being a good cook because I think it counts. You don't have to. If
It
you don't want to.
100%. It 100% counts.
You're gonna call me a poor Italian because it is spaghetti for me. But
Hell
that's
yeah.
because I do it differently.
How do you do it?
I don't use ground beef. I use the mild or hot, depending on who's coming over, Italian sausage.
Nice.
And I marinate it. And then I use like a combination of spices. But it goes, you cook, it's like anybody cooking spaghetti, but you have to do the sausage first, then the onion, the garlic, et cetera, and then I use this specific red sauce from Trader Joe's that I found that's super fire. And then I pretty much will make that around 7:30 or 8 a.m. and we won't eat until 6 p.m. So it takes all day to simmer and cook through, and I stir it every 30 minutes. I have a timer on my phone depending on what we're doing that day. But
I've never done an all day sauce, and I really want to. I also want to start like going full homemade, and instead of I typically like zhuzh the sauce from, like, I'm not one of those people that needs to buy like a can of Rouse or something. Like,
yeah,
I go get like some basic shitty public sauce or whatever,
and then make it better,
and then just make it better.
For sure.
It's like as plain as possible.
Yep.
Listen, sometimes
my mom taught me a weird thing where like if I like to use like fresh basil when possible, but
that's the
not
number.
kid
What's the
ourselves.
easiest? That is the easiest thing to spice up any. Like, if you just want to add the shittiest pasta and the shittiest tomato sauce, just a little bit of fresh basil makes such a difference.
It really does. But I'll take dry basil and I'll just like pour a bunch into my hand, and then I'll just like kind of like rub it together with my fingers to like kind of break it down and like really unlocks a lot of flavor with it.
And then you take your hand up and you Salt Bae that shit.
Absolutely.
Salt Baeing is
so fun.
Time consuming for the amount of basil I'm putting in a pasta.
I will say I can make a mean chicken tetrazzini too. My mom taught me how to do that.
Let's go.
And that was like I'm in college, and this girl and I are hanging out, and I've got to cook something, and that's what it is.
I need to do my seafood risotto again.
Shit, that sounds fire.
Yeah. Matthew's been learning how to make risotto randomly, and the pictures have looked good. I will say that I don't consider myself a good cook because I'm only good at a few things. I don't like naturally like throw things together. I don't know how flavors come together like Ella does. Like Ella will go like, oh, we need to add this to this meal to balance out. My brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But I can make a bunch of, maybe not a bunch, I can make a handful of good things on the grill or cooking that I do well because I just kind of repeat the pattern.
Four things matter in cooking: acid, fat, salt, and heat.
It's a great book, I think, by that name.
Yes, and also it is a amazing. You should check it out on Netflix. I forget her name. She's a chef, and she goes around the world.
Or maybe I'm remembering the Netflix book, but I'm pretty sure there's also a book by that same title. So my go-to dish to impress somebody now, by the way, it's either fajitas, which I'm pretty good at, or I'm getting pretty good at making a ribeye steak, just on the grill. What is a go-to comfort dish to make yourself feel good, boys? You're at home, you're cooking in, you're staying in. What's kind of a go-to dish you're cooking for yourself?
Well, it depends on the last time I went to Florida or not, and what I have in the freezer.
Ooh, little fish.
If I don't have anything, it's some kind of stir fry. But if I had just come back, it's a dish that Rachel and I will make right when we come back from Florida, immediately, like the day after when we go scalloping. And yes, it's scalloping for all you people out there that say scallops. Come to Florida and pull them out of the water, and then you can tell me how to talk.
Hey, tell him, Jay.
Rachel will make this lemon basil pasta with like a cream sauce, and then on the grill outside on a skillet, I cook the scallops in like a garlic lemon white wine sauce, and then I combine the two with a shit ton of Parmesan, and it's a super stick to your ribs kind of pasta, and it is just that's my. And if I'm feeling extra frisky, I will throw a piece of trout or redfish or something on there and eat that too. So
if you go to Florida with Jay, you can join his club day scalloping.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're a bad guy. What's your go-to comfort dish to make yourself feel good, Matthew?
I think it depends on if I'm cooking with Maddie or if I'm by myself. Because if I'm by myself, it will be infinitely shittier.
Yeah. So give me the shitty version.
So like for all the pasta saucing that I can do for fun or whatever, sometimes I just want noodles and a fuckload of Parmesan cheese.
Hell yeah.
Now, like I have done
olive oil, right?
Any butter?
Yeah.
Or butter.
Especially
We're both talking about the fat.
especially if I'm doing it without sauce, then that increases the amount of olive oil or butter or whatever.
Dude, Rachel not killed.
But like I love just like make some penne pasta, but then have a nice block of Parmesan cheese and like freshly grated on top.
Parmesan cheese after basil is the next best thing. Like if you're listening to this podcast and like you're like you want to dress up your pasta, like
I use basil in my pasta.
I know, but like basil, I'm just saying basil.
And Parmesan.
If you just have a little bit of basil, whether it's fresh or ground, fresh is better, and it's the easiest thing to grow ever. If you're going to grow one thing, like grow basil, but like a little bit of basil and then fresh Parmesan, grated.
But you both have said it. You cannot buy the Parmesan grated in the bag at the store. You have to do it.
Don't do that. It's better.
Grater.
Honestly, it's better to genuinely. And I know like some part of my childhood still loves like the grated shitty Parmesan or the shredded shitty Parmesan. But like it's better to have pasta without that than it is to have it's no cheese rather than.
I'm gonna tell you folks right now. Have the green bottle of Parmesan or the red bottle of Romano or like the mixed bottle of both of them. No, just have it, because there are going to be some days when you're like, I prefer with it than without it. Mm-hmm. So like, there are going to be some days where you're just like, I just need to throw a little something on here. Like, but also get blocks of Parmesan.
Gotta have the blocks.
Get blocks of Romano.
And they're not even blocks.
Make it fresh.
Get the triangles.
Triangles.
And listen, also little
they're all blocks to me.
An extra like little.
It is a block.
It is a block. It's true. An extra little. You can also, let's say you can't find Parmesan, or maybe you don't like Parmesan as much. Try Asiago.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
It's basically the same thing, but it's a little different. You'll like it. All right.
Now, I'll eat the shitty Parmesan on pizza.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
now,
sure.
I will say one more thing. If y'all have fancy cheese grater Rex, hit me up, because I'm in the market for a new cheese grater.
Dude, Rachel and I got you. It's this one, and it comes with like a cup that attaches to the bottom. So you're just sitting there, just railing out cheese. I just realized that is not a good notion. You're just railing out cheese, and it's not like falling onto like the cutting board or whatever. It's falling into like a container.
I want something that reduces this motion.
Okay. Yeah, me too. If I go back 30 seconds.
Like the Olive Garden style person that comes to you and just like holds the block and just like turns the thing. Like that's what I want. I want a nice one of those.
Also, a microplane is a game changer.
I'm pretty sure we have a microplane.
It's for Parmesan. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
For drier cheeses, for wetter cheeses, and I'm not like a cheese snob. I just like cheese in general. A box grater is what I use for almost all cheese. Mm-hmm. But for Parmesan, that is the game changer.
I think we need a new microplane. So maybe,
like if I'm trying to take your pants off, I'm shaving Parmesan.
Hey, you can get in my pants for sure with some shaved Parmesan.
We have a mandolin, and every now and then I'm like, ooh, let's just go ahead and slice up a few.
Shout out Juan Sanchez, who about cut his finger off with a mandolin
that's
a couple seasons ago.
You can go back and listen to that on our podcast with him and Ruben.
It's exactly right. All right, boys, tacos.
Ruben, yes.
Flour or corn tortilla, Jay?
I'm offended that you even have the word flour on here, but for me, it's corn. And my toppings are very easy. It's a steak taco with cilantro and onion and a lime.
Matthew?
And then maybe some salsa verde.
So, by the way, I'm not even going to answer because I couldn't say it better word for word. Same thing here. Matthew?
I mean, that's absolutely brilliant. I'm not going to lie.
It's just like...
I cannot believe Matthew didn't say a flour tortilla.
To be clear, I don't discriminate. Like, if you put a flour tortilla in front of me, I will eat it.
I'll devour it.
I will absolutely eat the shit out of a flour tortilla.
If you don't give me a double layer... If I'm making it, it's got to be a double layer corn tortilla.
But like if I'm
shout out to Tortilleria Arena, which is right down there that you can get fresh tortillas.
So I've not gone yet. I want to go.
Have you had fajitas here with me, right? When I went and bought them, when I had fresh corn.
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe I did.
I always buy them over there. It's like $2. It was. I don't know if they still are. I haven't been there probably about a year, but $2.50 or $3 for anybody like a pound of tortillas.
Perks
That's
of the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but like that's you absolutely nailed it. Like,
Yeah, I just don't think like of course like you grew up and you had the ground beef with the cheese and the lettuce and like sometimes if I'm like 12 beers deep, that's dope. But like at home,
I still eat Taco Bell.
yeah,
oh, I mean,
yeah.
I'll crush some Taco Bell too.
But like the ideal taco,
but the
corn
Doritos Locos
tortillas,
Tacos.
steak, onion,
Yeah.
cilantro.
Yeah.
It doesn't even need cheese, although I would still add cheese to it.
No cheese for me.
The cotija cheese on there is pretty fire though. Continue.
Seltzer versus beer.
Oh, CBC Oktoberfest all day. Sorry, that's a specific.
hell
that's
yeah.
Very, very specific. But
So
that's,
is that your favorite beer at Chattanooga Brewing Company after a win?
Yeah, depending on now that the season extends that far. Yeah,
Matthew?
the mailman.
I bet the
here.
mailman is here.
So I would have the first seltzer I ever had in my life was in the parking lot of Dalton Christian Academy or Dalton Christian School, whatever it's called. Pre-match CFC Atlanta Silverbacks,
That never happened.
where they played 6 minutes and like 30 seconds and then called it for Lightning. That was my first seltzer, and I've had a few of them since.
So seltzers versus beer. Are you team seltzer?
I'm taking seltzer every time because I think the taste is obviously different, but it's comparably good for me, especially now with Truly like going to 2% juice. Like I just love that mixture. And it's just like slightly healthier for me. It doesn't give me heartburn. So
Sure.
yeah.
Wait,
And I can drink them all day on a boat.
Your beer, right? Or your seltzer?
I've become team seltzer not for the taste, just for the lack of hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This past weekend I had a bunch of Oktoberfest. But no, you've changed you're the one who changed my mind because you said one time about light beer and seltzers that when they're cold they're all the same.
They are. It's true.
And
Yeah.
The colder you get them, ice cold. They're all the
they're
same.
all the same. And as soon as they get warm, they're all different and they're all gross.
Yeah, basically.
Well, depending on what.
But
I mean, basically. Yeah.
Like I'm now getting older. I'll be 33 next week, and like
God, you're so old.
Dude.
beer, like and even like shitty light beer, which is wonderful and I love, like is starting to like give me some like heartburn like,
Yeah.
every now and then. Like not always and not every beer, but like it's annoying, and I just don't have these problems with seltzer. So
All right, boys, we got a bunch here to blow through. Best by the pool drinks: seltzers, cocktail, long drinks, water, beer, something else. What's your pool drink?
Dude, if I had to go with one, it would be the Finnish long drink.
Those are
Shout out to the Finnish long drink.
pretty awesome.
I watch a podcast every single day called Dog Nation Daily because I'm an obsessed Georgia fan, and that is one of the sponsors. And one day he was saying it. This is like the only ad that's ever like really hit me. And he was like, "You can go on to thefinishlongdrink.com and find out where they serve it near you." And I was like, "Okay." And then they had him at
Riverside.
no, it's down here. It's a restaurant on East Main.
What kind of restaurant?
Damn it! It's right across from the fire station, right down from Main Street Meats.
Slicks,
No, it's a
State of Confusion.
State of Confusion. They had it, and so Rachel and I went there that night, and I pounded them, and they were awesome. And now I know where they. Now I do know where they some. They have them
Long
at Vine
drinks,
and Barrel.
long drinks are delicious. Long drinks actually still give me a hangover, though, unlike seltzers.
Same question. So, for you, that's seltzers, right? By the
Yeah,
pool,
by far.
we've done that a lot. How about on the boat? Any difference?
I really actually don't even drink that much on the boat because I'm the operator. But I am gonna throw a crazy curveball at you. There's this place on Chickamauga called Shady Grove Harbor. It's up in Saudi Daisy. And they have frozen adult slushies.
Nice.
And they are made with whole grain alcohol, so they are very effective. But they have a lot of really good flavors. So for me right now, I'm going with slushies.
Interesting.
Adult slushies.
I'm a seltzer guy on the boat in
So
general.
I'm a seltzer guy far and away.
With
not
water
even
and
close.
sun, I'm a seltzer
with like with that being said, there is nothing that makes me more proud to be an American than having a Budweiser
In a can.
But heavy.
that was
Goddamn
thrown
right.
out of a boat and hit water first, and
Yeah.
then having it in the water while like
Oh,
on
like
a
you're-
on,
like
an
you're on
over
the float and
like
somebody
on an
tosses it to
oversized on an oversized like pool noodle thing like in
100%.
the
You
water.
You just get it and you're like, I'm proud.
Be an American. Yeah,
That's
100%.
hilarious.
Rankings of seltzers quickly, because we can't take all day.
Truly Wild Berry #1. Everything else below it.
Do you have
I'm a big Vizzy fan, but I really like the Michelob Ultra seltzers.
Interesting. I am a just oh shit. What are they called? High noons above everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care what the flavor is. The vodka ones. I have not tried all the tequila ones, but and then Mango White Club, my favorite after that. But I don't really care after that. Just I want.
White Claw Black Cherry and Mango White Claw are the two best White Claws.
I knew you'd have takes on this.
Truly Wild Berry is undefeated the best, period. High Noons I put in a different category because they're like vodka
Juice.
and
vodka.
not like, malt liquor or whatever.
Yeah, they're an upgrade.
High Noons pineapple is the best flavor by far, not even close. Peach should be literally shot with a 50 caliber.
Wait, so should we have Kid Rock shoot a bunch of peaches?
Yes.
Sorry, I had to. I will say though,
coming soon to Broadway in Nashville.
I will say though, when I'm playing golf, it is seltzers because they don't typically have anything else at the golf course, and I'm not gonna go get like I may start with a Two Hearted and catch a quick buzz and then drink seltzers the rest of the day.
Boys.
I just do shots for that because then it's going to improve my first tee shot.
Well, hey, shots. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes,
Toppings?
butter and syrup, and maybe fried chicken.
Ooh, there you go. Matthew?
I don't love pancakes or waffles enough to even rank them. It's too much bread for breakfast. Breakfast it should be a meat dominated or protein dominated affair.
You're a wild boy. I will pick waffles, and though I like them both, and I will pick just butter and syrup for this. Though I think that shout out to me as a child. I like homemade pancakes. My dad used to make them almost every Sunday with peanut butter and applesauce. A little bit of syrup on top of that. So good. Eggs. How do you want them? How do you want them cooked? You're ordering eggs somewhere.
I have a funny answer because I like them over what I call over medium, because I like them over easy, but I don't like them too runny, but I don't want them hard like over medium. So I like them like just a little runny.
So you just really mess up that poor cook who's like, I got to get these perfect.
That's typically if I'm cooking them by myself. I'll do over easy if it's at a restaurant. I'll just sop it up with the bread.
Matthew, how do you want your eggs cooked?
It depends on the environment. I like them scrambled. If you're with me on a road trip and we're staying in the same courtyard and we go to breakfast at the same time, I'll order the eggs your way there, but they'll be over hard. I love a good fried over hard egg. I'd never want, if I get an egg on a burger, on a sandwich,
Over easy.
I want it over hard. I do not want the run.
No, the run is what makes it good. The run is what makes it good.
No, the shitty egg makes it good or bad. Like nothing about the run.
What is your Waffle House order?
Hot take.
All-star, baby.
I don't go to Waffle House
Wow. Okay, this podcast
What?
is over.
because my wife. So if I was to like, we don't.
Drunk Jay in college, no Waffle House?
Nah, man.
Are you a Huddle House guy?
So no. So what's funny?
Are you a Denny's guy? Did you grow up in California and I don't know this?
What's funny
I was
is
gonna say like Shoney's or some shit.
Shoney's would have been my answer a long time ago, but
Yeah, but that's where you go for real breakfast.
Yeah,
during the day.
No, I'm just as much as we've talked about it, and I seem like I might be. I'm just not a breakfast guy.
Interesting.
When I wake up, if it's 9:45 or 10, I'm looking ahead to lunch.
All right.
That's how I am.
I love breakfast.
You know they serve like lunch foods at Waffle House too, right?
Yeah, but you don't go for the lunch food. You can get lunch food, but you don't go. Matthew. Matthew.
Like a Waffle House prime rib on a Texas toast
Now
or
I will
something.
say I eat in an old Huddle House every now and then, but it's called Sidetrack now. So
I've heard that place
I did
rules.
sidetrack for the first time.
that was fire.
Friday night.
I've
my
never
favorite
been.
restaurant.
Matthew, what is your Waffle House order?
All-star special. I usually do hash browns, onions, ham, and sometimes cheese, but not usually. Bacon, cinnamon raisin bread.
One of the greatest.
Inventions of all time.
Yeah, I like the raisin bread there. One of the greatest comfort cheat things is a chocolate chip waffle. from Waffle House. My order is a double order of hash browns, triple covered, smothered, diced, and capped, 2 eggs scrambled with cheese, and then whatever kind of toast I'm feeling. Toast kind of varies it up. Sometimes I get a little chili to put on top every now and then. And then if I'm feeling really hungry or kind of shitty, I might get a waffle too.
Hey, do you want to make sure that we go to Waffle House when we go to Savannah? in a
Yeah,
couple
we
weeks?
definitely.
If you get chili, then it's definitely coming out the same way.
Oh, I don't go to Waffle House for how it comes out. I go for how it comes in. Best fast food burger.
I'm gonna wait to answer this one because I want to know y'all's answers really bad. I've been having a very large argument with my friends group.
Beautiful.
For like 2 years.
Best fast food burger.
Oh man,
And
like,
it's not regional. Like you can do whatever.
Okay, well, I'll put a caveat in this, and I don't want to argue about it. We'll just do a vote. 3 is Five Guys included.
that's not a question I was going to ask.
That's fast casual. I don't give a shit. People are like, no, they get all up in arms. I'm like, dude, you just get the burger you want.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's mine. That's
Some
mine.
people are like,
it's fast.
you gotta drive up and get it.
Is it
fast food.
fast casual like a
Steak-
Shake Shack
Shake Shack,
or
fast casual.
the nerds on the West Coast one?
In and out. Yeah, you can include all those.
In and Out is a fast food. You can drive through.
Yes, correct. In and Out's actually
So,
just straight up fast food.
yeah.
So I'm
I've
taking
been
Five Guys.
I've
by the
been
way.
in and out, but I've never actually eaten in and out.
Five Guys is fire.
It's Five Guys.
That was a joke, Terry. Because I've been in and out. I've just never eaten it.
Dude, all I know is I've seen this argument, and shout out to Bustin' with the Boys, my friends. I always talk about that. They did a really viral argument about In-N-Out versus Whataburger. I love Whataburger.
Whataburger's fire.
But
Never
the
been.
boys on the bus don't represent Middle Tennessee well enough.
Well, neither one's from Tennessee.
No, I know, but the rest of them are all from Tennessee,
Okay, yeah.
and they all have a say. Well, except for JP, he's from Florida. But if you are from Middle Tennessee and Sonic is not your favorite hamburger, then you're tripping acid when you answer that
I
question.
love how much you are into
and a
this.
double, dude. You gotta if you don't have a classic Sonic cheeseburger, I don't get people who can't even include that in their top 5.
That is an
Growing-
underrated burger. I agree
Growing
with you.
up,
Yes.
I really enjoyed a Wendy's.
Oh, same,
Wendy's
dude.
is fire, and Wendy's is sneaky the best fast food.
Dude.
It's very much there.
Not to go off on a tangent, but I did see something on Instagram where it was like Wendy's. It was a question. It was like, when was Wendy's yellow? Remember when all the cardboard stuff at Wendy's was yellow?
Yeah.
And the answer was at their peak.
Hell yeah.
That was when it was hitting.
Building on this, favorite fast food joint. Just what's your favorite spot?
Zaxby's.
Okay,
That's a good one.
Yeah, my whole family's from where Zaxby's originated. So
got it.
I love Zaxby's. For me is like, I'll feel less bad about eating this than anything else. Spoiler alert, it's because of chicken and not red meat. I think Wendy's is probably the best for me in the traditional fast food sense.
yeah,
But McDonald's is the most consistent for like driving around, and you need something like you absolutely know what you're getting, and you need it available in the morning with good coffee.
See, that
It's
used
McDonald's.
I would say that used to be the case, but I keep getting such inconsistent stuff from McDonald's. So, favorite fast food joint is Taco Bell, and it's not even close. Burger in a restaurant.
not to.
How do you order it?
Medium.
medium or no, medium rare.
Okay, what do you get on it?
I am very simple: lettuce, tomato, ketchup, and onion.
Cheese?
Oh well, yeah, any whatever
Preferred cheese?
Colby Jack, but I don't discriminate on cheeses.
Hell yeah, Matthew.
Medium, Swiss cheese. I like a Swiss and cheddar combo, actually. Sometimes bacon, sometimes a fried over hard egg, sometimes neither. Lettuce and tomato.
So I, like Jay, don't really discriminate against burgers. Like I like all burgers, but I am exactly how Jay said it, except for I vary on the cheese. It's kind of whatever I'm feeling. Pepper jack tends to be my go-to, but I really don't care.
Oh, yeah.
And then as far as burgers cooked, we'll get to steaks in a minute, but like burgers, I don't care if you do it well, just don't do it rare. Ground beef's not made to be rare. Like medium well on the burger side, I'm cool with. I don't want pink. Favorite type of fries: curly fries, waffle fries, crinkle cut, shoestring, potato wedges, other. What's the go-to? What's the best fry?
Freaking love a waffle fry.
I'm a
man.
waffle fry guy. Yeah, totally. I mean, specifically Chick-fil-A waffle fries will make me nut.
They
It's-
are
It's
phenomenal.
just stupidly
They are
good.
phenomenal.
Yeah, dude, some Polynesian.
You know what? You know what? Checkers seasoned fries,
Oh, brother, we got them in the freezer, dog.
bro.
We get them from the.
There's one down in Fort O. You can or Eastridge,
Really?
Fort O area. No, it's not Fort O. I guess it's Eastridge. You can cruise
There's
down
also one in Scottsboro. I went to Huntsville recently for.
there. So good.
Also, if I'm thinking in terms of like the straight fry variety, like McDonald's.
Yeah, best fast food fries.
Oh, McDonald's. Oh, no, Chick-fil-A. But McDonald's is a very, very close second.
So if they're hot and fresh, it's McDonald's.
McDonald's
hands
fries are
down.
fire,
But they've been lately. I've been getting like undersalted or like not super fresh, and
Yeah.
like they're not. They're
like limp. I hate
Wendy's has sneaky the best fries because like they've been real consistent about them being
Consistency.
hot as
Yeah.
hell,
Yeah.
and well salted.
One of these days, the fries that I make in my air fryer are going to be the best. But
That is
we're
the
not, we're not
whitest
there yet.
thing you have ever said in your life, and you've said some white shit. Rank regular fries versus sweet potato fries versus tots, and what's your order?
Oh,
the hierarchy.
regular fries, tots, sweet potato fries. Just not a big sweet potato fry guy.
Tots, regular fries. Those are the only two options I heard.
I actually go tots, regular fries, sweet potato fries, but I like all three. I will have any three. I miss the old terminal sweet potato fries.
Oh,
those
R.I.P.
ruled.
to Terminal, dude.
Those ruled.
Sweet
Now-
potato fries are not fries.
If you-
They are not potatoes, and they should not be in this county.
They're not potatoes.
Sweet. Okay, you're an asshole.
If you
Sweet
want
potatoes are
really
great.
good tots, there's Armando's here, which everybody loves. But Honey Seed is this new place down the way.
I haven't eaten there yet.
Dude, their tots are like crispy, crumbly, homemade.
You know, who has
They're-
fire tots right now?
Who?
CBC, Chattanooga Brewing
Oh,
Company.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
I got them with a buffalo chicken wrap like literally not too long ago.
Fun fact: if you go to Universal Joint, the brisket nachos, you can get those with tots.
Hell yeah, those are also
their
fire.
loaded tots at UJ are awesome.
By the way, if I go within 100 yards of Armando's, I like have a little blip in my heart. So you have to avoid
It's not
that.
good. It's not good.
not good for you.
It's not good in general.
Delicious though.
Single-handedly keeping cardiologists in business.
Best place for a sandwich.
Did you like that? I added that.
Sammy, I like it. Best place for a Sammy. What's your spot?
What's your spot? I'm interested, 'cause this
the
could
problem
be
is
a
like
million
my
places.
favorite sandwich place is in Nashville, in downtown Nashville.
What is it?
Ray's.
Oh, Ray's is fire, dude.
It's so good.
Ray's or
man.
Substop in Nashville, both are really good.
It's like
That's
when
that's
I'm
a Titans game day. I'm healthy. I want to eat this before after I've done a bunch of bad shit to my body.
so like Ray's on weekdays, and I don't know his weekend schedule or whatever, but like weekdays it's like he opens at 11, he closes at like 2:30 or
Yeah,
something like that.
yep.
Like it's very much for the office workers, the state employees.
Yep, right in that
and
area,
during
that
session,
district.
it is just like you see
Pandemonium.
lobbyists in there. You see like it's one of the best places to lobby without registering because like you'll see a bunch of people roll through Ray's if you're there every week.
So it's like the Capitol Grill for Nashville, but at lunch.
Oh, but the Capitol Grill doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
It's really sad.
Dude, you told us together when I was in DC with that person that's getting in a lot of trouble. And we hung out. That was awesome. Section 109
yeah, the Capitol
podcast
Grill was
took
great.
on.
remember-
I used to see all kinds of people there.
I don't think we've ever talked about it on the podcast how we you and I hung out in the Capitol and like did a bunch of stuff.
Speaking of hanging out in the Capitol, you know who I ran into on the halls of Congress last week?
Who?
Tim Kelly.
Jason Hartman.
Oh, I saw that picture. That was
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I
shout
did
out
see that
Jason.
picture.
Like just like out of complete nowhere, like walking by, and he puts two hands on my shoulders, and I'm just like, what the? Oh my god! Like
so good.
And by the way, folks, he was wearing a 3-piece suit. That man looked good. Shout out.
Shout out. So my best place for a sandwich. I'm gonna take a little bit of a left turn here. It's Publix and it's a pub sub.
Dude, well, we agree on that.
Yeah,
Is that where you're going?
I'll put that. I'll put that down.
100%.
That's fantastic.
100%. It's my favorite. And if I wasn't allowed to choose Publix, I would choose Penn Station. But Publix is just,
What's your pub sub order?
dude? It's two things. One's a wrap. One's a sandwich. One is just wheat. They have the smoked Gouda, the Chipotle smoked Gouda, and then ham, lettuce, tomato, banana peppers, and then the sub dressing that they have.
Hell yeah.
And now Publix is doing romaine, not just iceberg.
Hell yeah.
Changes the game.
They're also doing chicken parm subs now.
They're
They're starting to roll them out, but like the chicken parm is fantastic. The chicken cordon bleu is fantastic.
The cordon bleu is fire.
The
Get that
and then
wrap.
like and then like there's some days that just call for a chicken tender pub sub.
Well, I see my other order is I do that in a wrap. I am like, if you had to say, Jay, what's your favorite food of all time that like you could eat at any moment?
Jay, what is it?
It's a buffalo chicken wrap with lettuce, tomato, and ranch. I don't know why. Like the one at CBC it's probably my favorite.
It's
anywhere.
good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Hell yeah.
My mouth is literally watering.
I know. How are we doing on time, Jay?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. I know you've been making some lifestyle changes, so I want to tie these two things together.
Yeah.
You're not a coffee guy. We talked. That's one question we have answered on this podcast before.
Yes.
Probably, if you're a longtime listener, you know how all of us drink our coffees. Are you drinking caffeine right now?
I am not. I'm sugar free. Oh, well, I mean, caffeine's not sugar, but I typically consumed my caffeine with sugar.
Yeah. So give us some.
caffeine.
I know you've made some like a little bit of lifestyle changes, and we don't have to go super deep. But like you mentioned that before the pod, like what are you doing right now, and are you still consuming caffeine? And if you are, how are you consuming?
I've never been a caffeine person because so for those who don't know, I have Tourette's. So the way caffeine works with people who have it's ADHD, Tourette's. It's like a few things where caffeine is the opposite.
Yeah,
so
calms us down.
Yes,
I
exactly.
have ADHD.
Yeah, exactly. So I just used to always chug Red Bulls, and
You are a Red Bull guy.
big Red Bull guy. My recycling bin is honestly embarrassing. Not anymore.
I used to sometimes when I bring you a Red Bull or get a text from you to be like, "Hey, will you grab a Red Bull on the way?"
Dude, actually one of the greatest things that ever happened. Well, not really because I had COVID, but when I got COVID, you had to drop something off. For
I kept
the
asking.
pod.
I kept asking if you needed something.
Yeah.
and you were like, "Oh, I'm good. And then at some point, like I think I had to pick something up for like a mic or something, or
Yeah,
I don't know,
when
something for the podcast.
When he dropped it off,
I dropped him a
out on-
four-pack of
a 4-pack of Red Bull on the front door, and dude, I was like,
couldn't see him,
Dude.
couldn't be together,
Dude,
but I
but-
just knew what you needed.
and I couldn't go get it, so it slapped so hard.
So what are
Oh
you
my-
doing now?
I just don't. Rachel makes smoothies every morning, and
Like sugar free?
yeah, completely sugar. Besides, natural sugars that are in all the fruit that we use. But yeah, so she makes a fire protein or not protein. Well, there's protein in it, but it's a smoothie. every
So
morning.
you said you cut out sugar.
Yeah, I cut out sugar.
You're just cutting out added sugar?
Added artificial sugar and added sugar, yes. So I can eat things like fruits is what I'm moving to for like the sweet tooth.
How are you feeling?
Well, I've only done it since Saturday, and it's Tuesday. So right now I feel bad.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And for those who are wondering why, I saw a neurologist. So I'm working on just upping my diet so they can help my Tourette's. And so cutting the sugar out is a huge thing. But yeah, right now I feel like I feel like a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Who's being withdrawn.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
currently I have not right now, but like at work, I'll walk by the just spread of just candies. And like all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta go to the next room.
Get some sugar. We were talking about this before the pod as well. Sugar-free sodas, like they scratch that itch. It's not the same,
Yeah.
but it helps a little bit.
Well,
Little Coke Zero action or whatever
on
else.
Sunday when I was like a little hungover, I needed some carbonation or whatever. So Rachel got me a sugar-free Sprite, and like that was not bad.
Hell yeah, Matthew, are you doing anything right now? Dietary, lifestyle-wise?
I'm just trying to cut back on caffeine a little bit. Not like cutting it out by any means necessary, but like definitely trying to keep it under 30 ounces of coffee in a day. And if I can start with like 20 ounces and then just try not to go any further. Or maybe like if the afternoon cup of coffee, maybe have that turn into like an afternoon cup of tea instead.
Hell yeah, good for you.
Like I'm never going to cut it out. Otherwise, I'll become a very bad person. But just cutting it off a little bit.
And I am similar to Jay. I try to be as close to added sugar-free as I can be realistically, and just no simple carbs, just like good healthy eating, but cutting out the added sugar. 6 days a week.
Empty calories.
Cutting out the empty, but not, and yeah, and just I feel better. I have less inflammation. My knee, everything feels better. So I'm just kind of back on the wagon. We were in California. I was, and I had COVID and whatever else. So like I had treated my body like a dumpster for a while.
Most
in California.
certainly set fire to that Conestoga wagon.
So I'm just back on the wagon. We already know about pineapple on pizza. Matthew's a heretic and doesn't know what good pizza is. Favorite type of pizza? What is your favorite? Is your joint still Cortile?
Dude, we haven't been there in a while, and I actually don't get pizza at Cortile. Rachel does, but I get. They have so many fun things that they're always doing. So I'm always getting the random wing sauce or like the weird charcuterie board. Or 2 weekends ago, they did tacos for their Sunday dinner. Life changing. Anyways, my favorite type of pizza coincides with the question that's coming up, which is my favorite Chattanooga pizza spot.
Just do it.
Beautiful.
It is the Is it Blazing Buffalo or is it Buffalo Soldier? It's the buffalo chicken pizza at Southside Pizza.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Southside Pizza, dude, is just so
best.
chronic. And if you want a pizza slice that's bigger than your face, then you're
the
in
spot.
for a treat.
I think my favorite pizza.
You're a Pizza Bros guy, aren't you?
He is a Pizza Bros guy.
It's
used to be right
so
down the road.
it's so close
Yeah,
to me.
or still is, yeah.
I think my favorite pizza there is something that I came up with, just like the build your own type deal. But I do it with a white sauce, with dry basil, and then I just do like pepperoni, chicken, and meatball. And it is unbelievable.
You're a meat guy.
I do. I really am.
That sounds fire, though.
I'm also a Southside Pizza guy. I'm a margarita guy, but like I don't care. Like I like almost every pizza there.
Margarita is good, though.
It's very good there.
It's unbelievable. And it's got basil on it. It's basil. Best fast food pizza. What's your go-to fast food pizza?
Domino's. Actually, that's not true. I probably depends on the occasion. Do I want to? I think we got Marco's last time we did a pizza night.
The old world pepperoni at Marco's. It's not my favorite, but it is
Like
fire.
if you really want to, if I want a shitty night, I'm doing Little Caesars. Marco's is like the let's have pizza. But I had Domino's recently. And Domino's is like low-key very, very good now.
Yeah, Domino's is pretty good. I think my number one is Jets, but if there's not a Jets, I'm a Papillon.
Gotcha. So I think clearly Domino's is the best of those, but like Little Caesars can't be beat price for quality. And when I want a shitty fast food pizza, I want the Italian cheesy bread with marinara dipping sauce from Little Caesars. What does your ideal hot dog look like, Jay?
Me and Matthew are in the same boat.
It's really, I know we talked about it earlier, but that's truly.
There's nothing.
Like I said,
nothing wrong with
if
that.
I'm crushing beers, it's a little mixture of ketchup and mustard. But a hot dog isn't it for me. This isn't for everybody, but a hot dog for me is like I'm at a game and I'm standing and I'm hungry and I want to crush something, but not deal with it.
All beef dog? Just all beef or
Whatever they got.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have a type of bun preference?
Pretzel would be my like, damn, I'm fancy and I'm eating it, but no, not really. Frank's.
yeah, same.
Ballpark
I
Franks.
really want to get to a point where I treat a hot dog like any other piece of meat, which is like it comes as it is, and then we zhuzh to perfection. So I'm gonna keep working on that.
If you get a steak, how do you ask for it cooked?
Medium.
Raw.
Still mooing?
Yeah, still mooing. No, I'm definitely I'm a rare.
Full rare or
Yeah.
medium rare?
I'm a full. If I'm cooking it, I'm full rare. But
How are you judging that rareness?
by temperature,
Temperature probe?
But also, I'm pretty good at poking and guessing.
I haven't figured out the poking. Again, I'm not really a good cook, right?
Yeah.
But I figured out how to make a good steak because I use the temperature probe.
Yeah, the temperature is the way to go. It's the correct way.
If you're making a steak at home, what are you seasoning the steak with, if anything? Meaning salt, pepper, that kind of thing.
Typically, I will vacuum seal a strip with a little bit of salt, and I'll go to the garden and I'll pull out a piece of rosemary.
Nice.
And then
That sounds cool.
And then every now and then, like the smallest amount of Worcestershire. But like my dad is like, we're all just seasonings, and I'm like, dude, you just need a little flavor and then salt on the cooked meat, and then that's the way to eat it. That's my favorite.
Interesting. So I do salt and pepper beforehand, and I'm very liberal with that amount of salt and pepper. I go heavy with it. Not like smoked meat heavy, but like pretty heavy with it. I like for it to sit for at least half the day if I can, 6-8 hours if preferably, and then I don't put like garlic powder or anything else. And then I'll just do it straight on the grill as hot as possible.
Yep.
Couple minutes on each side. I mean, I'm just classic. And then I'm pulling it out when it gets to 125, and then which is 130 is medium rare, so I'm hoping it gets to 130-ish, and then I'm covering it and basting it in butter. That's all I'm doing. Pretty simple, but also like.
Sounds fire.
What cut of meat are you getting? If you're doing it at home, and then a restaurant as well, what are your two?
At home, I'm typically, but so I'm cooking for myself, right? Rachel's not eating it with me, so typically a strip. I'll do like a, oh man, sometimes I'll do a T-bone because the bone's still in it. I do love, but yeah, pretty much it's a strip most of the time.
I'm a ribeye guy.
Ribeye's fire.
I have two. I just like the extra fat. I have two strips in the from Aldi. And by the way, Aldi's my favorite place to get meat for price for quality ratio. Like it's not the highest quality meat, but price for quality. Matthew, if you're getting a steak at a restaurant, Jay, if you're getting a steak at a restaurant, what cut are you getting?
Shout out to Felipe Oliveira because him and I both love Tarasco El Carbon at Mayan Kitchen.
Yeah,
and it's
fire.
Skirt.
I went with you guys.
Yeah,
skirt.
that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was a skirt steak.
Matthew, at a restaurant, we know you're a filet guy.
Filet mignon.
If you have you ever cooked? Do you cook regularly steaks at home?
No, I don't. So I have cast iron now. So
You're gonna get there.
The next thing I want to do is like experiment with some cuts of meat and see what I like. And I want to do a cast iron sear and then
Pop it in the oven.
pop it the rest of the way.
I was getting ready to say I'll tell you about the sear to oven ratio.
But
Smitty does it completely in the cast iron the whole time, basting it in butter, and it is murderously
does he
good.
do that thing?
Yeah,
That's
and then
skill.
he puts it on its side. He gets
That's skill.
He went carnivore for I don't know if it's a couple months or what it was, but
Yeah.
he makes a murderously good steak.
Oh, I bet it's fire, dude.
So
Shout out. Missed that motherfucker.
Salt and pepper to season in advance. And then it'll be like a little bit of butter in the process. And
Interested to see how that goes. You have to report back.
me too.
Favorite sides at a restaurant or at home when getting steak?
Oh shit. Oh man.
I'll go
Go
first.
ahead, go.
Mashed potatoes are the best.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mashed potatoes are number one.
Mashed potatoes are elite and they're a must-have, but they're not the best.
Mashed potatoes are the best. And then after that, I love broccoli, I love green beans, and I love asparagus. So I'll take any of those, or Brussels sprouts, as long as they've been like done on a grill or fried real hard, like crusty Brussels sprouts. Any one of those vegetables, in addition, I'm in for.
So a restaurant steak size,
And I could do all those at home, by the way.
you
as
need
well.
to have 3. Mashed potatoes is requirement number 1. Something green, requirement number 2.
Yeah.
Your third should be something fun. And the answer to that is lobster or crab mac and cheese.
Well, mac and cheese is a good one. I can't have lobster or crab because allergic to seafood. Jay, what are your?
Since you're, I was going to go 2, but I think
Regular mac and cheese is okay. Yeah, it's okay too.
I think 3 for me. So 1, I'm going to do strictly at home because I can't compare.
Sure.
Rachel does this a veggie skewer with like red onion, mushroom, squash, zucchini, and carrots and something else. And then she takes like this Italian seasoning that we make, and she uses like half the amount of oil you're supposed to, and then she rubs it on it while we're grilling it on a mat. Nice. So that mashed potatoes, and then my curveball.
How are you not 350 pounds, dude?
Dude, because I come from a family of storks.
Just like the way she cooks, it is shocking.
If you saw my grandparents and my dad,
Family of storks is fucking funny. I do too, by the way.
My
That's
dad's
the only reason
tall, skinny, you know.
I do.
But and he eats a lot. But the next is gonna be really left field, and it is a Caesar salad.
Hell yeah.
That it's got to be before the dinner, but yeah.
I like it because for some reason I like that tart flavor
I agree.
mixed with the rest of it. I don't know.
It's not in my top tier, but I'm with you. With you.
I'm with you there. I want it before.
You want it as a precursor to the meal.
I want it as a precursor before. By the way, lobster bisque also a great precursor.
Good lord, dude! I had the bisque, or I guess it's crab bisque, but I went to 1885 the other day. Oh my lord, bro!
Now I order if you get to go listen, my filet mignons, like they're not. I don't just like go out and do that all the time. Like that's usually a work dinner type thing. But if you get the chance to do something like that, I choose medium for my heat because really nice restaurants are terrified of overcooking a filet. So when I order a medium, it comes out like a medium rare plus. I think I've said this before on this podcast. Yep. And that's like they will. Number one, they're the types that are already scared of cooking it past medium rare, just because a lot of chefs in fancy restaurants think that like that's the actual perfect thing to do.
It is.
It's not. Just a little bit past, but not too far. So I ordered medium for that. By the way, I had to explain that. To a member of Congress whose name will be nameless.
But I can pick their party.
And
Whichever one you hate, dear listener.
because he asked at dinner the other week about how why I chose the way I chose it.
Humble brag. Oh, look, I'm out at dinner with members of Congress.
It's just part of the job.
Pre-dinner beverage. Say you're going to, you could do, couch it however you want. Pre-dinner beverage.
I mean, I would have to choose a specific situation.
Pick one. Just pick a situation.
Nice dinner, steakhouse.
Amalfi Coast, limoncello. Dude.
That's a post-dinner beverage, but I like where your head's at.
To open it?
Yep. I don't know why, because the guy said that it expands your stomach, but and that is post dinner, right?
It's It's a digestivo. It's called the digestivo. It's supposed to help you digest. It's just Italian's excuse, and I'm with it to have a shot after dinner.
Well, it
does help a little bit.
I had it before and after dinner, and
Nice.
it was. I mean, where we ate, the whole environment. But if I'm here, yeah, it's whiskey with a cube of ice.
During dinner, what's your drink?
Water.
Come to you. Water. Mm-hmm. And post dinner, you can have a drink post dinner while you're still chatting. Maybe you're at the same steakhouse.
I think it's just more of the whiskey that I had before.
Hell yeah, Matthew.
So I like usually a bourbon as my pre-dinner drink, mostly because I will take my time with it. Because almost always, if I'm going to a fancy-ish work dinner or whatever, I've probably already had a couple. Like probably seltzers at the hotel bar or like something like that.
So you're gonna sit on that.
So I'm gonna sit on the bourbon for a little bit until they start cracking open the wine during dinner. In which case, I will probably have a glass of wine.
Wine is fire with dinner.
Right. It's and like it works for like steaks. It works for if you're having an Italian, like going. I was just in DC, and I didn't get to go this time, but like Filomena in Georgetown is my favorite Italian restaurant on the planet. It's also like it was President Clinton's like one of his like favorite haunts as well. It's unbelievable.
So pre-dinner, I'll probably mix it up. I love the bourbon shout. That's a great. I usually drink mine neat, but like other than that, the same thing. Mm-hmm. I don't really care pre. It's probably not going to matter. For me, like I do when I'm like if we're doing the steakhouse thing, I want a Chianti during dinner. That's what I want. But if I'm having pizza or something somewhere, pizza or a burger, anything that's like
a beer with it.
I want a beer.
Yeah,
absolutely. And
Chianti's fire.
Chianti's it's the best for steak, pasta, whatever.
Yeah,
but not with pizza or burgers. You can do it, but it's not the ideal. And then after dinner, man, I'll vary it up a little bit. I love just a shot of espresso. And then whatever alcoholic beverage or no alcoholic beverage, shot of limoncello and an espresso is actually, and a cigarette is the perfect way to finish a meal. And I'm not a smoker, but that is the right way to finish a meal.
Dude, if you had asked me this question like 10 years ago, I'd have said right after dinner when I was a RAF guide, we would always drink moonshine. Like real from the jar, from the area. And yeah, that used to be a good. You think ginger's a palate cleanser, brother?
Limoncello is absolutely fire as a shot post Italian dinner. For other dinners, typically it's like during the dessert course. I just don't like desserts, so I'll and like they kind of blend coffee and desserts like
espresso martini.
As the final course. No, I've
espresso
had
martini is a great after dinner drink.
It's okay. I don't hate bartenders that much though, so I'm just not going to order that. I typically do a cup of coffee in the biggest mug they have, which is sometimes a challenge. A shot of Bailey's in that coffee, a shot of bourbon in that coffee. Well, I don't give a shit. And I like a little bit of espresso too.
Okay.
That is like, because at this point you've probably been drinking for a few hours. Like it's probably been a long day, like doing whatever. Like these dinners last like 2-3 hours, probably like 3 hours, and you need something to give you a little pick you up. Finish the dinner, get back to the hotel bar for the next round. But like you need something to go back up, and then you can start like steadily coasting down. And that I find that coffee and espresso combination with a little alcoholic enhancement helps me get there.
I love where your head's at. Last couple. Should butter be kept on the counter or in the fridge?
Fridge.
Counter.
counter. Bingo. But I keep it both. I always have butter in the fridge to replenish the butter
That's
on the
what
counter.
Rachel and I do. Yeah, your butter on the counter is for what you're gonna
Ever
eat
you're
this
using.
week,
100%.
and your butter in the fridge is for like just because I can't spread. You can't
You can't say it's
butter.
pointless,
Yeah.
but you want to keep the butter in good shape. And Matthew's just a heretic. When you're, because he doesn't, he just
Again,
it's a bad guy. When you're feeling like a fast food cheat meal, greasy, nasty, you need something gross. What is it? What's the guilty pleasure?
Either like a couple of things off of the Wendy's value menu, or like a quesadilla and maybe a shitty like dollar burrito or something from
Taco
Taco
Bell
Bell.
quesadilla is a great shout.
if you want to listen to a fire song, you should go check out Wendy's. They put out a mixtape a few years ago. They have this song called 444. Anyways, it's actually a banger. They literally came out and they talk shit about other fast food restaurants. It's hilarious. But I think mine is the chili cheese fries from Crystal.
If I lived on the South Side, it possibly might be Popeyes, because I went to school at CCS, so like having the Popeyes right off
Right
campus
there, yeah.
was incredibly clutch, and I miss it.
Well, and you know what's funny?
But I'm not driving down South Broad.
It's too far, way too far for you.
No, yeah, I think the chili cheese fries are probably my go-to. Oh, you know what? I recently discovered Jack's, and a Jack's burger when I'm feeling greasy is pretty good.
So I'm gonna
shit, that could fall into my fast food.
Yeah,
we need to take a podcast field trip to Cookout.
So I was just gonna say mine goes in stages, right? Like
How have I not mentioned Cookout?
so my number one, and it goes
The
in
white
stages
cheddar
of my
bites,
life.
dude.
Yeah, correct, bingo. If you the best greasy cheat meal for me, just if I need something really greasy, is to go to Cookout.
Get you a
and
tray.
I get a tray. I guess I'm probably getting a package now. I guess come on, boys. Quit being assholes. And so yeah, the cheese bites, some fries. I get a quesadilla. I either get fries or cheese bites. Quesadilla, and then a burger, and then a shake. That is I will feel like absolute garbage. I will probably be basically hungover even if I haven't been drinking, because that's so much bullshit and added sugar and gross stuff. And I'm old now, 35 now, but it's just it is the go-to. Which foreign foods, this is a wild question, Matthew, which foreign foods have become better with Americanization?
It's Italian food.
Oh, that's a hot take. Have you ever been to Italy?
So
Not talking shit. It's just like it's so simple, and you're like, it's not. Oh, why is this the best thing I've ever put in my mouth? Holy shit!
Italian food in Italy today has evolved
From what it once was.
from what it once was, in a large part because Italian food that came across on the boat was updated a little bit. Now, like, do I think if I'm eating in random places Italian food in the United States, is it going to be better in real life Italy? Yes, but a lot of those influences have been taken back.
So I instead of arguing with you, I'm just going to leave that one alone. They are two separate food categories, Italian food and then American Italian food. So I'm just going to leave them
It's kind
separate.
of like Mexican and American Mexican.
So I'm actually going to go there.
This is also a good one.
So I'm going
That's
to say,
not
but
my
I'm going to say in particular, burritos on the West Coast.
Oh, fuck.
So like
Just,
San Diego,
just talk about the waterfront bar.
the waterfront bar burrito, like the breakfast burritos, like these big old burritos that have like tots and fries, and like it's Mexican inspired, right?
Yeah.
But that is the improvement that I am going to. Not that I don't love regular Mexican food, because like American tacos are not as good as like classic Mexican tacos.
go back
We
to
talked about that.
go back to the corn tortilla.
totally.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to use for that one. And I think we've the other thing I think is we've probably made Asian food worse.
Oh, really? Because my answer's Thai.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So I've not been to anywhere in Asia, so I can't say anything. What I can say is that like the food that I had in Italy that was Asian food was different and was like, I don't know, it just made me think that like the real thing is probably better. is my thought.
Thai food around the world
That's
is...
a guess.
The thing is the answer that I'll have is Thai, but Thai, and we're speaking like specifically Americanization, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to another country and you get Thai food there, it is typically better than what we have here, and it's
So-
not more. It's not more traditional in any fat. Like it's in no way more traditional.
Is it just purely like just the ingredients are better to start?
I think it's your Americanization gives you a certain take on a cuisine, and I
sure.
think in England they have a different take, and in France they have a different
Well,
take, and
England-
in Egypt they have a different take. England sucks for food. in
England
general,
sucks
brother.
for food. They invite. I mean,
Nobody. Sorry, Pete. My bad, dude. But mushy pea sandwiches are.
hey, listen, Pete.
I'm just kidding. Actually, I think
I love you, but I'm not sorry.
No,
the
I don't
English,
think Pete actually liked those. I think it was Josh who liked them. But keep going.
the English invaded the entire world for spices and then refused to use it in their food. And I know that's a meme now, but that's been true forever. And fuck English food. And I am mostly English of descent and blood, but like the England cannot cook.
So the Thai
English
cake
food
is
is
interesting though, because I'm pretty sure the Thai government has an entire ministry devoted to like protecting like
traditional cuisine.
traditional Thai food around the world.
Yeah.
Like there's several different categories.
Oh, interesting.
For like you've got like your shitty category, your medium category, and your like your highfalutin Thai category.
I just totally
and-
ranked restaurants in that here in town.
And I'm curious.
that.
I'm curious.
Got Alex Thai ramen last night.
If your experience overseas is like just different categories, and that might explain
That
that
could
might
be
explain
true.
the differences.
Well,
or
typically they're all really nice.
okay,
I would say I typically stick to the higher end. Like
Alex Thai is
not
incredible.
here.
For-
Alex Thai is amazing, but like
also, did
I'm a big Thai
did
san
Yummy
fan.
Thai make an announcement? They said they were going to on like Sunday.
yeah, they have a restaurant in
Brick and mortar.
in North Shore.
Br-
Pretty sure
They have a brick
the
and
Yummy
mortar in
Thai
North
food
Shore.
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're opening up
Former
on
Thai
Fraser.
San owners. I've been
Is that
told.
really?
Yeah, that's what I've been told
Dude,
by multiple
I'm
people.
a big Thai San fan.
Well, they sold
They-
it and they started and now they're the food truck.
Because if you listen to this podcast, holy shit, you've made it this far.
Yeah, for real.
But if you want the best soup of your life, everybody says it different, but I know it as a traditional tom kha, which is a coconut based with spices, with chicken and mushrooms, and it is the last time I got COVID again not too long ago, and it killed me. It did me way worse than the time before. And I was, had all the sinusy BS going on, and man, I drank that soup for like 4 meals in a row, and it like just gave me life. But before that, it's my favorite soup of all time.
So I'll blow your mind a little. I've never been to Thai San, and now that they've changed owners, we'll see. I'll wait for other people to tell me.
They're still good.
They're still good.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
we get it all the time at work.
One last question.
Just go to Yummy Thai Taco.
love that place as well. Love Alex.
I've been on them on Red Bank. Well, yeah, because you're on Dane or by Dane Boulevard. Of course, you know that. Yeah.
Well, actually, I had it at the only time I've ever actually had it was at like Shady's or something like that.
Oh, hilarious!
Yeah.
Shout out to Shady's.
Last question. Foreign food category that you want to try more of.
Vietnamese.
Never had Vietnamese food.
I had it in DC, and it was like just a little pop up place, not that expensive. Like it was incredibly good, and I think I want to delve more into Asian food, which is why the flying squirrel thing is so interesting.
Oh yeah, I know that's happening. So many people are upset, and I'm like,
I love flying squirrel. That place was my shit. That was my local haunt for a long time.
Yeah.
like I went
It's fire.
through like full turnovers of staff there.
my favorite
I'm not.
thing.
I'm not sad about it though. Like I'm on North Shore. Like I just don't get over there that often.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to preserve and like flying squirrel since they got rid of brunch
I really
has always
hope
been a
we have the
drinking
same
spot for
answer
me,
here.
not a food spot for me.
Yes.
Getting rid of brunch was personally sad because it was like great brunch food.
Yeah.
So good.
and the best mimosa deal in town.
Yep.
But
That's my main by 24 spot. Keep
yeah. So the only thing I want to make sure they preserve is summer water.
Oh, we have different answers.
It's going away, man. It's going to go away.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, my favorite, and it's they're not going to keep it. But this was I got like a bunch of likes on like a News Channel 9 Facebook post where I said this. Where they said
Hell yeah.
it, and
You've
I said,
never said something older.
Yeah. You on Facebook commenting on News Channel 9?
100%. And I hardly look at Facebook, but Rachel told me about it. So
Well, yeah, because that post went viral. Like everybody was like, or at least here locally. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
got texted me multiple places.
I
Multiple
commented
times.
on it, and I said, as long as they keep the truffle fries.
Now,
My favorite thing at Flying Squirrel would be to go, yeah, we've already eaten. We're just drinking. Yeah, whatever.
We can
And
order
then
a truffle fries.
No, one plate of those go by, and you're like, Yeah, we'll take 2 orders of that.
Yeah.
Whatever that smell is,
Oh,
dude, we'll take
yeah.
some of that.
I love those.
Yeah.
Those are the greatest.
But yeah, I think if I had to dive into another type of cuisine, it would be Ethiopian food because it's really good.
So
Eating it
I
with
was-
your hands, man.
I was gonna say that, and then I've really never really eaten Ethiopian food, so I don't want to say that without having ever eaten it that I know of, at least that I remember rather.
Shout out to the. No, they changed their name. It used to be called the Bang Meringue, but now it's called something else. It's in Nashville. It's the same owner, same restaurant. They just changed their name, and it's Ethiopian. I got to figure out what the Bang Meringue is.
So mine is Indian food.
Indian's fire.
Indian food is great. I've only had it, so I worked at a hotel for a brief period where they brought me Indian food like every night because the couple who owned the hotel lived upstairs, so they would bring me food almost every night. But like going out to eat, I've only probably been out to eat Indian food 5-10 times, something like that. Not that many times in my life. So yeah, that is my list. Or that's the
Maddie
top
loves
thing I wanna
Indian
try.
food, and I need to go on an Indian food
I love
adventure.
curry.
We have a,
I mean,
a
I think
sitar
there's
here, don't
there-
we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have sitar.
There's
Ella-
so many.
Ella
there's
and
so
her
many
coworker
interest.
Ella has an Indian coworker who's like took us all out to a place in Eastridge recently,
Heck.
and like it was great. I don't remember what it's called. Sorry, Eastridge place, but like I could take you to it. It's right near the old Eastridge Hardware. It's literally like next door, 2 doors down, or 2 parking lots down.
That's the only thing Eastridge is good for is random hole in the wall ethnic.
Yeah,
foods.
the Bosnian
Absolutely.
restaurant closed. There was a Bosnian restaurant that was fire, dude. I don't even know if it was good Bosnian food, but the food, meaning like there might be better Bosnian food, but like the Bosnian food I had there was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But
I
then
think
pretty
I'll
much-
amend my Vietnamese to like just general
Asian food.
General Asian food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost said that, but I wanted to just go a little
Yeah,
different.
well, everything else in Eastridge sucks.
Agreed. It's a failed state over there.
Let's take just a few minutes for some mailbag stuff.
We need to go fast. So Jay, are you good? Still good for
I
time?
do need to probably leave soon, but let's do one.
Real quick.
We're
real
at
quick.
135. Let's do before 140.
Okay. So got a couple mailbag questions here about some soccer related stuff.
This isn't a soccer podcast.
This is not a
food
soccer
podcast.
podcast.
It used to be a soccer podcast.
So and one of the questions, there was some stuff about general stuff in the league or whatever. And it's Nisa, who the fuck knows what's going on? Like, will Club de Leon play 7 games in 25 days?
Who knows?
Who knows? But one thing was interesting was like some injury updates, specifically for CFC. If you don't remember, Ali Jaimez made
Shout out.
a late appearance in the Albion game.
Yes, he did.
We've been told that Ethan Corrin is back and I think ready to go, which is really nice. Ethan's not played. Has Ethan played any minutes since
No.
like Atlanta United?
No.
So like that, I mean that's fantastic. Good to see him back and hopefully available for selection this weekend.
I had one question I didn't even answer. What about Partita? Jonathan Partita?
We saw him out in California, and
is he still a part of the squad?
yeah, so
'Cause I
he's
know he had a bad injury.
He's been rehabbing an ACL injury.
Yeah.
And I think he's close to like starting to like resume some training. We're
what
not
he
talking
told
about
us.
we're not talking about like match fitness training. Like we're starting to talk about like
Yeah.
getting like some regular movements again.
Yeah, getting into rehab.
So I mean like I don't know what his situation is if we'll see him back here or not. I think there are probably some people that are wondering about Taylor Gray. I think he's still pretty a ways away. And I don't have a timeline on that one. And then Colin Stripling should be getting close.
Need Colin Stripling back.
I don't know
He
if
was such a key part of how we've started to play and how the progressions we've made during
Yeah.
the year with him
Yeah.
letting Richard move and giving the tactical flexibility. And yeah, it's really important to get him back.
I don't know if he's like Gold Star close or like Savannah close or even further than that. But we hopefully, if there's not been a setback, like hopefully we're a little bit closer to seeing him back. And we're pretty close. We're almost close to full fitness, to my knowledge.
I have a mailbag question. What happened when like all of a sudden a bunch of FC Gold Star players went to Detroit went to Savannah, right?
Yeah, a couple
like an
Gold
UT
Star
now?
players went to
Was that 'cause
to
the club had
Savannah.
problems
One went to Albion.
Paying?
Yes.
Or okay.
So to my knowledge,
they had
Gold Star has never missed a payment, but they did.
So
They did allow a lot of players to leave.
So really, really quickly, Gold Star had a really big roster with hopes of like cultivating a whoever's best plays, and then like some of these players get moved to Europe because they have they had European connections. Once the owner decided he didn't want to spend a bunch more money on Gold Star and decided it was basically a lost cause and they weren't going to build a stadium and whatever else,
Gotcha.
they allowed basically almost anyone. We don't know if it's truly anyone, but most of the team was offered like, hey, if you want to leave, we'll let you out of your contract. And so a lot of players took them up on that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's what happened there.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was very random.
Like
to me.
some players decided to go play amateur for the rest of the summer.
Some are playing. Some went and played professionally other places.
Yeah.
Do we know where our boy Red went?
He went back home
Gotcha.
to train and get ready for the next step.
Good.
It was a little too late for him to get on at a good amateur spot to keep minutes, and a little too late for pro.
Because he didn't leave
other pro
until
opportunities.
the end of June
Yeah.
or early July, something like that.
I saw him whenever did we play them the first game of the season?
Yes.
At home, and he was like, I saw him. I was on the pitch for a second and came back up, and I like hugged him and whatever, and yeah, he was. I was like, "How's it going?" You know, he's like, "Yeah," and I think it was really shitty being back at Findlay for his first time to play for a club that's nowhere near.
And then he
where
wasn't.
we are,
And then he wasn't even playing.
Yeah,
It was a bummer.
So I felt bad for him.
Same. What's any more mailbag questions?
Let me look real quick.
You got 40 seconds.
I love how you guys are repping CFC so hard, and I'm over here wearing
Billy Strings?
Billy Strings. Dude. I did get this in Huntsville. Went to Billy Strings 2 nights in a row.
This is actually an interesting question that we'll have to go kind of quick here with. But our last 5 games are Gold Star, Savannah twice, Flower City, possibly Club de Leon. We've drawn.
Maybe not.
We've drawn against every single one of these teams with the exception of Gold Star. Fun fact, Gold Star is actually, if we beat them on Sunday, Gold Star will be the only team in the league that we actually won every single scheduled match against. We have dropped points at some point against everybody else.
Even though that ref was blind as fuck, and that was clearly a penalty.
Correct.
Continue.
Sure. Yes. You don't even know which one you're talking about, but yeah, probably.
Against Moo at
So
Gold Star.
the question is, what needs to happen to get 8 points from them? I think that 8 points is referring to, although I believe it's 10, referring to like what we need
Clinching.
to secure the number one overall seed.
This is easy. We need the offense to play well. Defense has played well all season. The offense has been up and down.
Gotta click.
Offense has got to keep clicking. Look, and I'm not saying we've been terrible all season because the offense just comes in waves. And like last year was the same thing, right? It's not a hockey stick. It's like plateau up, and it like works on. We've got to get the winger play has to be better. And that has kind of been the key all season to our offensive production is are the wingers playing well? And if they are, and we don't have to rely on Marcus to bail us out and do magic. And that's what we can't be, is relying on one player magic. We have to be playing well as a team, and that's how we can get those points. Because our defense, unless something insane happens, is not going to change. Our defense has been money all season.
I'm going to break the rule. Can I piggyback?
Go for it.
Okay. If we do secure the top spot, what is it? Is that enough for us to have every playoff home game?
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
So
That's all I
play
want.
with patience, play with good decision making, pick your spots, and then actually beat your man when the one-on-one opportunity comes. But we need to play our game and not someone else's game.
Sure.
And let's not kid ourselves. Like, these games are against the bottom 3 in the table, or I guess bottom 4-ish, whatever. Don't play with your food before you eat it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We should win all these games 3-4-0.
a
Boys,
good one.
thanks for joining. This is a wonderful lunchtime pod. I am so happy. This has made my day, maybe even made my week. We'll see how the rest of my week goes. Hopefully it doesn't make my week. I mean, I'd have not done anything, whatever. But this is the best way to start out a week. And I was so happy when Jay and Matt were like, let's do a podcast on Tuesday. So glad you guys joined us. Thank you, listeners, for listening, for watching, whatever wherever you are listening to this podcast. And we will catch up with you soon. Peace.